Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMtrading. Today is January 13th, 2020. And today is Monday morning. So looking at the major economic events of the day, just one event coming out of Canada at 5:30 South African time. It's the Bank of Canada Business Survey Outlook. I don't think it's going to affect the markets too much, but you do want to know it's coming out, especially if there are any surprises. Now looking at the markets, we saw the AUDUSD dollar continue to rally. Well, last week we saw the Dow Jones actually pairs its gains after making new all-time record highs to 29,000. But the question is what's going to happen this week in light of the fact that we have some China-US trade deals actually coming to fruition this week with some sort of resolution to their tariff war. Now looking at the commodities, gold pretty much tapers off in anticipation of these numbers. And looking at the stocks, keep an eye on the FANG stocks for direction because they're still very strong. Okay, we're going to take a look at the markets in just a second, but let's see what we can expect from today's trading. So we're jumping here into the Aussie USD at a 4-hour chart. And you can see we pretty much capitulated at this 68-ish level and we continued rallying. Now we are hitting a little bit of a resistance-ish area at this area. And this may actually turn into a head and shoulders. That would be the head. This would be one shoulder, and this would be an anticipated second shoulder. And this is generally a bearish formation. So something to anticipate as this actually unfolds this week. So something to keep an eye out as this unfolds. Now looking at the Canadian dollar, we saw it actually hit a high versus the US dollar of 129. Okay, meaning to say that if the Canadian dollar goes 1-to-1, that's pretty much par to each other, and at 129 it's actually weaker versus the dollar. So if it's going to 129 from 135, it's getting stronger versus the US dollar. So that's exactly what's happened in light of the fact of what's happening with the price of oil. Now that has been corrected, and you can see the price of Canadian dollar being corrected as well, since the two are paired together. The Canadian dollar and the price of oil are very much aligned with the tremendous dependency of the Canadian economy on the oil. Now it's trading at 130.45 right now, and we're pairing our gains from our 130.86-ish level. And so this may actually be a decent place to pick it up for a second run on the upside. But you got to keep an eye on the price of oil to see if that actually fruites. Now looking at gold. Gold pretty much was a big rally last week with what happened with the scrimmage, call it, okay, between the United States and Iran. And sure enough, the market did rally to that. Now, it did retrace down to 155, and this 150-ish level is a support, okay, because that was subsequent resistance, previous resistance, excuse me, and that would make it subsequent support, right there. You could see that right there. So if it does breach this area, 155, then this may actually turn further downwards, okay? That was our resistance. This is subsequent support right here, okay? And if it does breach this area, okay, that comes out a little bit clearer there. Okay, if it does breach this area, and we could see it back into this 115.30-ish level, okay? Something to consider as this week unfolds with this massive news that's going on with China and the U.S. with its tariff wars. Now, looking at the Dow Jones, we paired our gains last week after hitting a high of 29,000 on the Dow Jones. Okay, we retraced down to 28,700-ish level, and now we're bouncing off of it. Now, several points here. Okay, the Dow Jones did retrace much more than the Nasdaq. The high-tech stocks in the United States remained very strong. Okay, so the stocks that got clobbered or got sold off are some of the more traditional stocks, like the bank stocks, the financials. Those type of stocks actually sold off. So looking at JP Morgan, we sold off to 135. If we look at Intel, also sold off to its support level. But if we look at some of the other FANG stocks, okay, the Googles on all-time highs, okay, 1425. If we look at Facebook, still dead on its highs at 217. And if we look at Apple, just off of its highs at 309 from 311-ish levels. So the FANG stocks are still strong. So until the FANG stocks change character and become a little bit weaker, then I'm more inclined to say, hey, maybe we've topped out here. Maybe there's going to be a little bit of a sell-off, okay? But that's going to be my telltale sign, is to wait for these FANG stocks to actually give me that direction, because ultimately it's the FANG stocks that are taking us higher, and I want to really see and get that confirmation first before I think sell short. Okay, yes, will the market top out at a certain point? Yes, the Dow Jones will top out. Okay, but I gotta get that confirmation first. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish everybody a great trading day. Thank you.